Let's talk about the acclaimed revival of Proof. Emmy winner Ayo Edebiri and Oscar nominee Don Cheadle making their Broadway debuts. They're starring in the Tony and Pulitzer-winning play directed by Tommy Kail.
Proof on Broadway. I'm so thrilled you're together. How's the father-daughter dynamic going? You're digging into rehearsals.
It's really rough.
We're all super fans of yours, I'm so thrilled you're on Broadway. This is so great. I feel like you've been keeping your talents from us a little bit, and it's nice to have you back.
I'm glad to be back. It feels like a return to where we started, and to have the opportunity to do it with this cast. And Tommy is our director, fantastic, and to have David Auburn, the author, in the room with us, telling us what does this ellipsis mean? Why is this beat there? And why'd you use this word and not that word? You almost never get to scrutinize the text in that way. So it's fun.
That he's just as open to exploration and questions. I think it really set the tone in such a cool way for all of us to know we can just go in and dig together.
So obviously, when you cracked the script open, I'm sure you knew the play. Obviously, it was a big deal when it came out, won the Tony, won the Pulitzer, no pressure. But what was it like when you actually cracked that script and looked at it with your fresh eyes?
We, a little more than a year ago, did the reading for this, which David was there. But we had just a great time, and as soon as we finished, David said, well, I think I see a reason to do this again. But it's one of those things that's in a way canon for us in studio and in film and in theater workshop class.
As a writer, you study it.
As a writer, you study it.
Oh my God, yeah.
So it was great to be able to put it on its feet through this lens with these people and in this way. And as Ayo said, David's been that, and Tommy's been that same way too. Not precious. Let's get in there and elbow around and figure out some stuff.
We've been waiting for a revival of Proof, and I feel like it's been a while. So when you first got involved in this, what excited you about it, and what were those early conversations between the two of you like?
Well, I got to New York in March of 2001, but was in the area after '99. So coming to see Proof, and it's, during that first year was a really seismic event for me. I mean, it felt like, there was a conversation around a play that was, getting beyond those 10 blocks of Broadway. And so, I think it's something that sort of emblazoned on me, in my youth. I started thinking about the play with Andy Jones and Mike Bosner a few years ago, and just talking about the idea of introducing this play to a new generation. I guess I'm in the middle of two sisters, and that's a dynamic that I find, whether it's Frozen, whether it's Wicked, whether it's Hamilton, there's a lot of energy around what it means to put a family on stage with honesty, and I think David did that in his play. And so I love the investigation of our past and the sort of trying to ferret out a mystery, which is also in there. So I don't know, that sounds like a good night of theater, and so I just wanted to be a part of that.
I asked you this 25 years ago at the Proof opening night, but what was the actual germ of this? Where did this play come from?
It did come from the family ideas. I mean, that was first and central. It was about these two sisters who found something after their parent died. And then the struggle over trying to understand what it meant for both of them, what it meant for their father's legacy, all that stuff. This conflict between parents and children. And not just a conflict, but the relationship, and all those questions of what do you get from your parent? What do you owe to your parent? What are the things you have inherited from them that maybe you'd rather not have or would like to leave behind? All those things kind of went into the mix when I was working on the first draft.
Yeah. Catherine is quite a role.
Yeah.
She's got a lot going on, right?
Yeah.
I mean, she just
to
lost
put it
her
mildly.
dad. Just lost her dad, has a complicated relationship with him. He kind of went out in a complicated way with his mental health struggles, and she's just a lot to take on here.
Yeah.
What do you like about this journey?
I mean, I was surprised when I revisited it how much just hit me still and really resonated with me. I think there's also a lot going on just as a young caretaker and somebody who's, trying to figure out her place in the world also as a young adult. And I think that's like a very relevant theme where you just want to be like a person, and it feels like the world is telling you, no, we're going to make it as hard as possible. That kind of engine that she still has underneath to fight, to survive, no matter how messy it might be, is a really cool thing to get to try to explore.
Don, you have daughters of your own. I know you've sort of talked about, I think about your age, isn't that what I've heard? So is it fun to explore this dynamic in a theatrical setting?
Absolutely. I have to keep reminding myself that Ayo's not my daughter and that it's not exactly the same.
What?
Well, no, I mean, sorry, baby. No, that it's informative, but it's also, like I said, I have to go like, no, this is a different thing.
Yeah.
And what is this? And how is this different? How is it the same?
Yeah.
How does it reflect on my life? And how is it different in ways that I can push and challenge? And again, the play is the Bible. So, that's what we're dealing with, and these are the characters and these are the circumstances. But it is fun to have that, and I do feel very paternal with her, and that was like day one.
You've gathered an incredible cast. I'm really excited to see them all together. We are now looking at a Black family with this production. Obviously, the original cast was a white cast. Does that feel intentional or kind of incidental to just finding the right talent to tell the story? How do you look at that?
Well, I mean, I think you have to, acknowledge, like there have been companies of proof with Black casts, both
Sure.
at Goodman and at the True Colors Theater, and among many others. But for us, it is about intention. And so when we have this story, and all of a sudden you shine a light through it with any revival. And so, what does it feel like if our family is a Black family? What if it feels like if it's a question of how things that David wrote 25 years ago refract and reflects, through this particular family? I think it's through that specificity that we all find things that are both completely embracing, the detail and what it means to have that experience, and also, a chance to illuminate the play in a new way.
What's it been like for you over these years watching all these different actors take on this story, right? And to see different people breathe life into these words that came out of you so long ago?
What I want to see with each new production is what's new, what the actors bring to it that I haven't seen before. I'm always, saying to Tommy, like, let's see what else they can, push them to give me something that I haven't seen before. That's what I want in a revival. That's what I want with every play that I do.
Were you looking for a stage project?
That's what I studied as a writer, and what I really love, and some of my most formative, experiences with art. I think we're seeing live performance, and that was like a huge thing in my family. Both my parents are completely, I think I could say this and they would not be offended, the least artistic people that I know. And it was so important to them that we saw theater. It didn't matter if it was community shows or we were seeing dinner theater, if we just happened to be on a road trip in Philly, that's like a true story. Or that my mom would take the Fung Wah bus with me, may she RIP, to New York, and we would like rush shows together. Because it was just really important for her. The arts were super important in our house.
What'd you see on the road trip to Philly?
I saw a weird dinner theater show that was a rockabilly sort of 50s tribute. And I wouldn't even know where to find, I have no information except for this sense memory of then there was this one guy who he kind of played like an Elvis-like greaser. And then he sang to the audience, and I was like, wow, it really is forever.
While you're eating chicken nuggets. And
probably chicken parm. If I'm dating it, probably chicken parm and a Shirley Temple.
Beans,
yeah,
so
for
Some of
sure.
it led to getting you here. I'm grateful for that guy.
And I am too,
if he's
wherever you are. You have stayed with me, clearly.
My parents were on a road trip and driving, I think probably from Kansas City to Denver. We lived in Denver, and they would drive home, and I forget where they were driving through, but they saw this little, there was a marquee and it said Tom Jones, and they're like, oh, Tom Jones.
Already?
Okay, and they went in and the tickets were like $15. They're like, this is amazing. So they go in and it's this really small theater, and they sit down. They're like, that seems like a small venue, and why are there?
Tom should surely think a little higher of himself.
And the curtain opens and it's the play Tom Jones. They're like,
I'm obsessed.
oh.
Yeah, good. 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 This is all good.
I said, did you watch the whole thing? They were like, no, honey.
No, honey, we wanted to hear it's not unusual.
Yeah, and this was
And
very
this was
unusual.
very unusual.
what are you most excited about the next few months and just spending this time on Broadway doing this play?
So much. I don't know. It's just really cool to me. We get to make these like beautiful ephemeral things that sort of last forever within us, but they do have an expiration date. They do have an end, and so the fact that I get to experience that sort of little microcosm of life that has an end with these people is like so special. And again, to just be doing live performance, like I feel very invigorated. It's something that I really care about, and like that I get to be making my Broadway debut alongside these people. And also just like in this moment too, where I have other friends who are making their Broadway debuts, Tessa Thompson in Fear 13, and there's so many great shows. Just being in this like ecosystem is really exciting, and I hope that people also feel similarly invigorated and want to come out, and that also other people who do film and TV, you know, come out and do shows and remember like this is
where it is.
This is where it is.
You know, thinking about it in terms of, oh, we open on April 16th and we have to be somewhere there at this point. And I'm like, thinking of it now, it's like, no, this is going to be a constant exploration, and we're going to continue to find new things and deepen moments and oops, some moments. And, you know, it's going to just be a living, breathing thing that is so different than when we do a TV show or a movie and it's shot out of order and there's no continuity. You know, getting to take a character from beginning to end and build on it and explore it for that one night that exists in that time and it's gone.